friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today is going to be the second installment in my color theory series, and I just wanted to start by saying thank you so much for all the love and support on my first installment, which was focusing on the shade yellow, and it just means a lot to me. I put a lot of work into it, and I'm really excited to continue this series. The color we're going to be focusing on today, which I'm sure you can guess by the way I am colored and by the title, we are going to focus on the color green. A few of you requested green in the last video, so that's what I felt like doing for this week. Let's just pull up the good old color wheel here for a second. What we went over in the last video is that these are the warm tones and then it goes all the way down to cool. The rainbow is in an order for a specific reason. It's not just thrown together for fun, it has a purpose. Whatever is opposite of a specific color on the color wheel is its complementary color. When those mix, it creates a neutral. The three primary colors are red, yellow, and blue, which are colors that cannot be created. They are just them. You can't create those colors by mixing any other colors together. And then all the colors next to it are the secondary colors, and that's what you create by mixing primary colors together. I went over that a little bit more in detail in the first video. I'm not going to ramble on about it this time because I already talked about it, but that's kind of the basis. We're focusing on green today, and the opposite of green is red. Christmas colors are the complementary colors. So when you mix red and green together, it tends to make a neutral tone. In order to make a look that blends seamlessly from green to red, you're going to want to incorporate yellows and oranges to do it to red, which makes it more of a warm toned look. Or you're going to want to go with blues and purples to red to make it more of a cool toned look. I want to quickly add, in the last video I was talking about how mixing yellow and purple together isn't always the easiest. That wasn't in any way me saying you can't do that. I use yellow and purple together all the time. I wasn't trying to say you can or can't do a certain thing. Literally do whatever color combo makes you happy. I was just trying to break down the basics as to why some color combos might be easier to work with than others. Or just tips to be able to kind of make more of a seamless blend if you are having trouble. So with that being said, I'm not going to sit here and say you can't pair red and green together. My favorite way to wear red and green together where it doesn't look Christmassy is to pair brick reds, burgundies, maroons, more of those just deeper, richer kind of reds instead of a true red, with olive tones. I love that color combo. It's very rich and yummy and pretty. And like I said in the last video, another way to kind of pair those complementary colors together without having to worry about incorporating some other colors to make the blend seamless is you can do it as a pop of color situation, such as you could do a cut crease where one color is all over the crease and then you put the pop of color on the lid. You could do one of the colors all across the lid and crease and then do the other color popped on the lower lash line or the inner corner. You have different options where you don't have to worry about blending them together and still wear them together. Whew, hope that makes sense. The easiest blends to create with greens are green to blue or green to yellow, which I'm sure you see a lot. A lot of people play with those greens and blues. A lot of people play with greens and yellows. I personally love those color combinations, but I also really enjoy using greens and purples. An easy way to blend those together is by incorporating a little bit of blue. And then you could also do orange and green together, but keep in mind you might want a little bit of yellow to help balance that out. Really easy ways to work with greens are kind of like with the yellows. You can always play with any color with a neutral and it makes it really easy doing it as a pop of color and just kind of incorporating it that way. I also really like pairing mustard yellows and greens together. Mustard yellows are obviously yellow, it's a color, but they're more muted, they're more toned down, they're a lot easier to wear. And again, I don't like the word wearable because if you can wear it, it's wearable. But that's another easy way to kind of incorporate greens into normal colors. That makes sense. Hello, I look different, I know. I just wanted to pop into 2 days ago Betty Jean's video because I was busy editing it, and then when I got to the swatch portion, I realized I wasn't explaining certain things the way I wanted to. And then I was doing some research on the internet and I found this chart that I felt like would be really, really helpful. So going back a little bit, the three primary colors are red, blue, and yellow. You literally cannot make those colors by mixing any other colors together. The secondary colors are orange, green, and purple, and that is what you create by mixing the two primary colors that are on either side of it on the color wheel. With that being said, I found this chart that I felt was really helpful. As you can see, green is here, red is here. It is its complementary color, and what happens when those mix is a neutral. Same with the orange and blue, that makes a neutral, and same with yellow and purple, that makes the neutral. And I also felt like this was interesting because I was having a hard time explaining why mixing the two secondary colors together doesn't make like a normal color. It's because that also makes a neutral. I don't know how well you can see that from far away, but see, when orange and violet cross, it creates that neutral. When orange and green cross, it creates that neutral. And when green and violet cross, that creates that neutral. So when we do these swatches, you're gonna see that the only true colors that come out of this combo is by mixing green and blue and green and yellow. Again, this isn't to say that you can't do certain color combinations, but it can be a little tricky doing green to purple and green to red and green to orange. I even just did a video last week where I did a look that went from purple to green to yellow, so it can definitely be done. You just have to be a little mindful. And I just wanted to pop back in and explain that. Sorry I look different. Sorry this wasn't done in the same video. I figured I would rather just give you more information than just let it slide, you know what I mean? For these swatches, for all of the green that I blend in, I'm gonna be using the Sleeping Dragon from the Menagerie Cosmetics palette. So let's go in with red first. That is the complementary color to green. This is just Love Plus from Sugar Pill. And we're just gonna take that green from the Menagerie Cosmetics palette, and you will see when I mix the green on top, it just kind of muddies out, it neutrals out, it turns to a not very pleasing color. It gets very brownish. And that's what happens when you mix your complementary colors. If you remember, this is pretty much the color that happened when we mixed purple and yellow together. Let's stick with the warm side and go ahead and take orange. This is from the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. And this is the first example you're gonna see where mixing green on top of it is gonna create more of a neutral as well, just like it did with the red. It's not gonna create yellow because yellow cannot be created. It's just gonna kind of turn to a muddy color, you see? It's not a great color at all. And again, sticking with the warms, let's now dip into yellow. And yellow is a great color to blend with green because when the green is gonna go on top of it, it's just gonna turn to such a pretty greenish yellow kind of color. Yellows and greens blend so well because they are right next to each other on that color wheel. See? It's such a good color, especially next to these nasty colors. Now let's pop over to the cool side. Let's go ahead and take some purple. This is the purple from the Juvia's Place Zulu palette. And this is another one that you are gonna see. It's just gonna mud out. It's not gonna be a good color. It doesn't mix well, just straight on like this. It just turns very muddy. See? And finally, let's do some blue. I don't know which blue this is off the top of my head. It's from Sugar Pill. I want to say it's kimchi. That may or may not be correct. And we're gonna take some more green, and that's just gonna turn to a really pretty green-blue color. Blues are really easy to work with greens as well. See, it just turns to like a cute teal color. This is a good representation on what happens, and now it's really easy to clearly see why it's easier to blend with blue and yellow than with the other colors. Again, it can be done, but you just have to give it a little more time and love and understand that this is kind of what happens when you just straight blend them without being cautious about it, if that makes sense. So I'm done popping in. Now, 2 days ago, Betty Jean is gonna go over some other stuff with you. All right, I found another cool little chart on cool versus warm toned greens. As you can see just from far away, they are very drastically different. These ones are a lot more just bright and yellowy green, and these ones are a lot more just moodier, bluier green. These are the warm tone greens. They're gonna have a lot more of a yellow undertone. They're just gonna lean more towards that warm side of the color wheel by mixing yellow tones in with it. Whereas the cool toned ones are gonna have a lot more of that blue. You're probably gonna think like these are teal, turquoisey, which is exactly what blue and green mixed together makes. Creates these very pretty oceany looking colors. I went more of the warm toned green today with this look, and you'll see that little tutorial here in a second. But really quick, I just wanna go over my favorite greens in my collection. I wanna go ahead and just start with the Zulu palette. One, because I really enjoy the shimmery green, but also because it has this really pretty teal, which could flip or flop between blue or green, but I like it because it is a green. It has green tones. It's just on the very cool side. And this is really good to work with if you want to do a really pretty blue to green look. I have to talk about the Strobe Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette. I love Take a Hint. It's such a really pretty, vibrant, warm, yellowy neon green. And Creep It Real is a really pretty pastel-y blue tone green, and they're both so pretty. This is such a good palette, guys. From Strobe Cosmetics, again, the Divinity palette. I love Milda. It is such a good, muted, olivey, warm green. Ugh, it's such a good color. I love Strobe's formula so much. I have a single eyeshadow from Strobe as well, actually. I guess I can talk about it. This is the shade Vigor, how do you say that word? But it's a really pretty metallic, neon-y lime green color. Oh, it's so pretty. Do you see how cute that is? I wore this in my Cruella de Vil Halloween look, one of those looks I did in October. Oh, and it was so fun to work with. From Menagerie Cosmetics, we're gonna talk about the Dragon Child palette because it has that really pretty true green right here. And I feel like Dragon Child is just a really good pastel-y, minty, cool toned green as well. The Feral palette from Menagerie Cosmetics features 3 beautiful greens. I love all of them so much. You have this really nice deep one, you have a really cool olive, and then you have a really pretty shimmery vibrant, limey kind of one. My little controversial palette really quick, I have the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Dark Magic palette. People struggled with this one, but again, I like mine. I like this one because it has this really pretty deep metallic trickery shade. It has this really pretty deep cool toned inside job, and then it has this really pretty very warm olivey color called Potion. I really enjoy this for greens. I feel like for blues and greens this is a really good color story. The Afrique by Juvia's Place is really pretty because I really enjoy both of these. This is a really pretty matte green, and this is a really pretty kind of silvery but still warm kind of greenish olivey tone, and it's really unique. From Venus 2, I think I talked about this in the last video also, but we have Marsh right here. It's a really pretty satiny olive color, and I also really like Fly. Just looking at it in the pan, it doesn't really look like a green, but it's a really pretty pastelish olivey metallic color, and it works really pretty as an inner corner highlight with olive looks, which is actually what I used in this look, but you'll see that soon. And finally, I'm sure you guys knew I was going to talk about this. This is my favorite palette of the year, I'm pretty sure, but the 35M from Morphe features such beautiful greens. This palette is really fun to play off of. So those are my favorite palettes. Those are my thoughts on the color wheel as far as green goes, how to work with them, how not to work with them. You can do whatever you want. These are just my tips and advice on how to work with certain colors. So let's just move on to the tutorial portion on this look you see right here. I don't know what we're doing, but we're gonna do something. We're gonna play with so many different shades of green. I wanna kind of place different tones of green together. That's what I want to do. I'm gonna start by taking Ivy from the Menagerie Cosmetics Feral palette, and I just have it on a tapered blending brush kind of situation, and we're just gonna kind of tuck this right in the crease. I don't want to blow this up too high, and I'm just kind of packing it down because I'll blend it out with a different shade. I love this green shade so much, so much. I reach for it all the time when I want to play with greens. Me down, go inside like winter leaves that slowly leave the ground. Hey, you come back, I wanna give you a chance. Next, I'm going to take Green with Envy from the Morphe 35M Boss Mood palette. It's a really dark olive, and I'm taking it on this little angled shadow brush. And I'm gonna start by kind of placing it in this outer corner and then bringing it up into this outer corner of the crease and creating almost a wing-like shape with this. And I'm just gonna feather that into the Ivy shade we already have laid down. Next, I want to take Milda from the Strobe Cosmetics Divinity palette because it's kind of just a more light muted olive tone, and I feel like that's going to complement what we have going on nicely so far. And I just have that on a fluffy blending brush. We're just going to blend right above what we have going on. And I'm going to begin to take this underneath the lower lash line as well, and all in this outer corner. Going back into the 35M, I'm going to take Stroke of Luck right here. It's a very light, bright, almost neon-y green. I'm just taking that on a small blending brush, and we're just going to blend right above everything else. I don't want a ton of this shade. I just want a little bit of that bright green glow to kind of peek through. Oh, it's so pretty. This look is so dimensional. I'm obsessed already. You know, I was gonna do a half cut crease with this look, and now I don't want to. Now I just want to lay the shimmer shade all across the lid. I'm gonna take Bold Moves over here from the 35M palette. It's just like a really light, olivey, shimmery green kind of color. It's more muted, which is what I wanted for the lid. And I'm packing that just in this front half of the eyelid. That's kind of exposed. I want to put something else in this other half. And then from the same palette, I'm going to take Stand Out, which is right next door to it. It's just a deeper olivey green kind of color. And this, I'm going to use the same brush, just the other side of the brush is going to go in this outer half. And then I'm just going to go back with that very first brush we used. I don't have any additional product on this brush. And I'm just blending this edge so everything is nice and seamless. I like this look because it's so dimensional, but it's still so soft because I didn't do a cut crease. Oh, it's so, so pretty. To highlight, I'm gonna use Fly from the Lime Crime Venus 2 palette. I know this isn't really a green, but it's like a olivey, goldish light kind of color, and it's gonna complement these greens really, really nicely because of those tones. And I feel like the shadow's even gonna pull a little more green because of all the green that's on the lid. Oh yeah. See, it almost just looks like a baby olive kind of color. Oh, it's so cute. I'm even taking this a little bit in this first third of the lower lash line where we had a little bit of blank space. And now I'm gonna take that one blending brush we used with one of those lighter greens just to blend it together. It doesn't really matter. I love this so much. I love wearing green eyeshadow, and I feel so pretty with this right now. So I'm gonna do that to the other eye. I'm going to pop on my liner and lashes, and we'll finish this video up. That's it. That's the end of the video. I really hope it was helpful. If I didn't cover something and you have a question, please leave it down below and I would be absolutely happy to answer it. Thank you again for all the love on my first color theory video. I'm excited to share more color theory videos with you. Let me know which video you want me to do next. I think it might be blue. I think I might just continue along the color wheel that way, but let me know if you want me to do something totally different than blue next time, and I will get to that. My plan is to do this every week or maybe every other week. We will see how it goes, and I'm just really excited. What did you think of this video? What did you think of this look? Let me know. I'd love to chat about it. Do you guys like working with greens? What are your favorite green eyeshadows? I would love to know. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's beautbean. Follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe here before you leave. I post every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let me know what videos you want to see on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.